All right, guys. Well, this is Gary, and disappointingly, our video had massive audio problems. But you know what? This was such a great video. I really didn't want to go and redo it because we really covered a lot here. So I am just going to go ahead and narrate over this. We'll get through it. Basically, this is all my preamble. We're talking about acestep. So acestep is a music generation model that came out. It is fantastic. This is open source. It's local. It is not up to the standard of Suno, but this is the biggest step that we have made in open source music generation on the PC. It is, it's really incredible. Okay, so we're going to actually go in this video. I'll end up going through each of the steps of this, showing you how to use it. This is a song that I made. Let's see here if I can get that playing for us.
No longer gray, cloaked in the dark, her voice held tight, the scream not yet free, but held in flight. He speaks not words, but shelter.
So obviously that's not perfect, but that's it's pretty cool. All right, so moving on with that. Okay, and so yeah, just showing you here where the this is so stupid doing this like this. Showing you that they've got all these different custom styles in here and the prompts and all this good stuff here that we're going to get through. But then this is the point where I say to you, we're going to look at this. But before I do that, thank you for liking and subscribing the channel, telling people about it. And I believe in here I said something about getting up on the fence like a cat. You know, like how the cat gets on the fence and howls to the neighborhood. Get up there and start shouting about Get Going Fast and AI, and your neighbors will appreciate that. And even if you take a boot for it, you know what? You sacrifice for saying good things. So I believe that's what I'm talking about here. All right, so we'll push forward with the rest of the video. Again, thank you for dealing with the sound issues here. I probably should have rebooted my system. It's kind of funny watching myself here. I have no idea what I'm talking about here. But yes, anyways, this is a good reason to reboot your system at times because the AI stuff does take it from your resources. And then I'm sure here I'm saying something about joining us on Reddit or Instagram. And if you find the video helpful, hitting that super thanks button and giving a little thanks that puts a cheeseburger in my mouth and $1 in my pocket. So, and I believe this is the point where I'll say, let's yo it up and move to the next step. Yo. Okay, like I said, we are having to create the voice over this. So what we're going to do now is move on over to our browser. I'm watching this and narrating as we're going. So as usual, we go to our browser, and what we can do is go to acestep.getgoingfast.pro. And what you're going to find over here is that I have already created some Get Going Fast installers, both for the ComfyUI and for the Gradio app. So everything that we're going to cover in this video, you can get from these bad mamma jammas here. Okay, and so obviously notice for CUDA 12.6 is going to be part of the install, and this is what the Gradio app looks like. This is what the ComfyUI looks like. Okay, so then over here, yes, so I just remind you, acestep.getgoingfast.pro is where to get that from. Alrighty. Wonder what I am saying that's taking so long to say. Okay, so I guess we're going to go through the where this actually works. So this up here is the generated input params. So I mentioned that up there, normally it should save the stuff that we've done in the past. I haven't seen this work except for, so I just kind of ignore it. Theoretically, it just would save time, but so we move on. Okay, check, you got your audio duration. This is really cool. So you could do 30 seconds in this in just a matter of just a couple seconds. You could do a 3-minute video. So obviously 178 seconds is basically 3-minute video. You can create that in less than 30 seconds. I'm running a 4090, as you can make a full song, which is super groovy cool. Okay. All right, then you're going to get over here and you can see that you've got the different formats, your WAV, FLAC, OGG, and MP3. Now, everything I do is either in WAV or MP3. This is not going to be a full quality application. So you're not going to create something that you're going to be able to do professionally, put on Spotify or up onto iTunes or something like that. You're just not going to get that quality. Normally, to do that, you would save it in your WAV format, and that would be the lossless quality. When you put it into MP3, it's going to bring it down so you could actually share it. So like, you're not going to create something in WAV and then share it on Discord. You're going to put it into MP3, and it's going to go from, say, like 300 megabytes of WAV to down to like 3 megabytes of an MP3. So those are the two that I really use there. Again, MP3 is perfect for if you're just transferring stuff around, but if you want to do something else, you have to put in a WAV. Okay, now here's the audio to audio. One of the things that is really cool about this app is that you can actually throw in some music that's already been created, and then you're able to add to it. You'll be able to change the words to it. You can create a new song off it. That is something that is not available on Suno because of copyright issues. They do not let you do that. But with this, because you're talking your open source stuff on your own machine, go for it. Okay, very cool. And we're going to cover this a bit more in depth later on. So essentially here in this clip, what I'm doing is I'm loading up a country song here, just some instrumental stuff, and I run it and I go through it. You're going to find that as we go through this, it didn't really turn out that great, but you'll see that it did recreate it. So it's not keeping it exactly as is, but what it does do is that it recreates it basically in the style. And like I said, later on in this video, we're actually going to throw in some music and put in the exact words, and we're just going to change up the words, and it actually does it. So that's really cool. Hopefully by the time we get to that, the audio will have cleared up in some of these videos, and we won't have to listen to me dub over myself, trying to keep up with myself here. I have no idea what I'm doing on screen here. It's kind of funny, honestly. Okay. So notice that we go through here. Here's your audio strength. I don't usually play with these things. You can play around with the things, but there you go. Here's where we're going to get into our descriptive, how to prompt it. Notice that everything is pretty much 1 to 2 words, and it has a comma in there. Okay, so this is not writing large things like, the person stepped on the stage. It's not writing big descriptive prompts. It's keeping it simple. 1-word stuff: EDM, synth, bass, kick drum, country, acoustic, guitar, that kind of idea. That is how this is trained. And I believe here this is where I'm talking about saying that you're not writing big descriptive prompts. With image and video, sometimes to get your image and video, you want to actually explain things. The person is standing in awe as they look out upon the giant trees that go. Okay, not with this. This we're going to keep her down to descriptive 1-word things. Okay. All right, down here you can see that they actually put some, it comes when you load it up, it has some pre-written lyrics in there, so you can play with that. That's quite helpful. And I think probably what we'll do is we'll just cut the video here because the rest of this doesn't really matter. Essentially, we run it through this one I put up there, and it doesn't turn out that great, but it turns out okay. So let's go ahead and pause it here. We'll cut forward to later in the video. Okay, so I do mention here that when you're trying to get your prompts down here, you can throw that into ChatGPT. That is a good way of going through that. You can just say, hey, I'm getting a certain song. Here's my lyrics. What would be good 1-word prompts to be able to use? Okay, now when you're getting down here and you're actually putting your words in there, notice that it is putting stuff with these brackets. You got like verse, chorus. A lot of times these come out in parentheses. That's the half circles, right? And you need to make sure that those are actually brackets. But you'll notice if you want to put like instrumental in there, you could actually write the word instrumental or inst. in a certain section. So that'd be like when you're playing your guitar, you get to the part of the song where there's a guitar solo or something like that. You know, you can, yeah, this me doing the instrumental guitar. So you can put that in there, and then it'll make that section instrumental. Okay, very cool stuff. All right, so here's your infer step. So with infer, that really is how many times you're going over something. So higher amounts usually mean better quality, but it also means takes longer because it's going over it multiple times. Okay, your guidance scale is how much it follows the prompt. Okay, that's just like when you're doing your image, your CFG scale. Again, I don't mess with this stuff. I'm a get going fast guy. I just kind of want to make stuff. You're welcome to tweak out with this kind of stuff. You know, you got your guidance scale text, all this stuff, your guidance scale lyrics. So again, these are things I'm not going to play with, but they're there. Okay, your scheduler type. All right, look, you can ping pong it. So you can make a mind worm, make a little thing that just loops eternally. That's pretty cool. And then you get down here, your granularity scale. Again, just if you want to play with these things, play with those things. I typically find this is the kind of settings that end up busting stuff. Boy, as I destroy my table there. All right, so gets up here, and once you press the generate, you're going to see it actually up in here. And I think this is where I go ahead and click the generate button. And now you can see it's actually doing its thingamajob up there. Yo. So this will actually not take that long. I have a lot of, when I was running this, one of the reasons the sound went out is I had a whole lot of other AI software going on. So my system was out of resources. Like I said, I should have reloaded my machine and kind of just reset everything. But there, when I paused it, it got done. I play it, and it's really not that great. Let's see if we can hear it. Yeah, so you can see it was just kind of repeating itself. Yeah, so that was not really all that of exciting of a adventure there with that. All right, so we get down here, and you know, you can do a retake on it, so you can kind of fix some stuff up. I'm not sure if this is where I talk about it, but you're going to notice up here there's actually a repaint as well, so you can go in there and actually be clearing stuff up. Oh, it's too bad we didn't get this. Yeah, we did some reggae stuff, and I think later on we do some some heavy metal. Oh boy, I am so sorry the sound got messed up, guys. Let's see what this sounds like. I'll tell you, there ain't no party like a acestep party here.
City hums in dead of night. Baseline groove.
Okay, so you're not gonna be wearing a skirt.
Okay, so basically I'm like, you're not going to be winning a Grammy playing that stuff, which is pretty true. Okay, so it's not the best sound in the world, but it is something, and that's the thing, is that you can actually with this make full sounds. That took me just a few seconds, and I made that other one about going to the chapel. I think that's a great song. You can check it out on the YouTube there. For doing stuff free at home, that's fantastic. Okay. So, okay, here's the repainting stuff that we were talking about. So you can actually, this is really powerful. You can go in there and just change certain parts of a song. Okay. Now, again, this recreates stuff, so you can't get a perfect one-to-one quality of stuff, so you can't throw in an AC/DC song and then get the AC/DC song with the straight thing back. But you could throw it in there and get a song that's very much like that. Change stuff. This is open source. It's offline. You're able to edit stuff to do it. And what's the big deal? The big deal is that this is like the first time that we've had something like this. This is the closest we've come to having actual music that we've had. Okay, this is the first of its kind. Okay, you got to understand that audio has not been this fantastic. This, of course, isn't Suno, but for the first of its kind, it's awesome. Okay, so at this point, we're going to pop over to the installation. I'm going to show you what the ComfyUI download looks like. Later on, we'll talk about how to download this. Okay, and I'm just going to drag these nodes over here so that we can see it all on one screen. Eventually, that's the model that we're going to load up here. It's going to flow through here to here to here, and it's going to go down to there to an output. All right. Okay, now there's another workflow we're going to look at that has a load audio, but this is our basic audio generator here. Okay, so right there again is where we load the model. Up here is where we're going to put the type of music that we want. This is going to be your country, electric guitar, crashing drums, whatever. Okay, so up there I put heavy metal. And then in here you're going to be able to put your lyrics. Notice it's got instrumental in there and that kind of stuff. Here's where you set your time. So you set 30 seconds. Your seed is going to be randomized so you get a different thing every time. And then you press generate. Now this is running with AI tools, and you're going to see how fast it's actually going. Okay, ComfyUI is always faster than a Gradio app. So the Gradio app was bogging it down quite a bit more. This one, look how fast it went. And let's see if I can get you the sound here.
Let's go. Coherence. It going fast.
Okay, so effectively, I'm changing the. I'm putting some lyrics here that say "Get Going Fast."
Go faster.
I'm gonna leave the broken audio here just so you can hear this once it runs.
Sweet, removed the part there where it said instrumental.
So we removed the part where it said instrumental because we don't want just instrumental. We want some lyrics. And then look at how fast that went.
Get going fast! Get going fast! Get going fast! Get going faster!
That's so funny. It cracks me up.
So there you have it. Comfy nodes. So we're using it so that you'll be able to.
All right, so that was your Comfy nodes, and it's going to be a actually they're going to have nodes in here. So by the way, you're going to need to update your ComfyUI because they have made this part of the ComfyUI installation. So in the future, you can look around and we'll find it. I'll show you how to. We'll do another video on how to actually just add these each different node, but effectively what you're going to be able to do is flow this from one workflow to another. Okay, but you do need to update your ComfyUI. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so basically I'm rating it here. I'm saying, you know what, for what it is right now at this point in time, I give this an 8 out of 10. In the future, obviously this won't be, in a year it's going to be awesome. And again, effectively what I'm talking about here is that image and video generation are the things that they really focus on. And so you see the biggest advances in these. Audio is one of these things that it kind of takes a back seat, and you get jumps every once in a while, but it goes slow. So it's been almost 2 years, and we really haven't seen much advance in the music stuff. We've been seeing a bunch of garbagey stuff that come out. This is the first time that something has come out that is really fantastic. Okay, so the other stuff would be like you do something and it was just crap. But now this image and video, man, like every day we're getting stuff that's just breaking the boundaries. You just got to wait with audio. Within a year, we're going to have incredible stuff. We'll be able to do Suno in our computer probably within a year or so. Okay, so now we basically move forward to getting this installed. All right, so now we're going to go ahead with the the ComfyUI installation first. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our browser. We're going to be looking for this repository here. Essentially, all we got to do is go up here and we're going to type acestep.GitHub. Okay, and we're going to grab this one here that says acestep. So that's the one. Okay, so we click that. It's going to bring us over here. Now, there's a ton of info on here, and we're essentially going to just scroll through it and ignore it. These are obviously the files. We're not going to worry about them right now. But right now, we're just going to scroll down. You can read this if you want. Okay, all the news, all the updates. And you're going to look for here where it says Gradio demo support audio to audio, ComfyUI. Okay, and there's actually two workflows here. You got this one here. This is the, you got that one, and you got this one. The one down here is your basic one, straight text to audio. Okay, it's simple. That's the one that we were looking at. That's the one we're going to start with. Okay. Then we're going to go up here, and we're going to work on that one. And this one here is the actual Gradio app. Okay, so this is going to have your audio to audio and all that. But we'll talk about both of them. So first thing we need to do is go here. You see what's highlighted? That's where we're going to click. If you click it, it's going to take us over here to the ComfyUI blog. Okay? And you should probably subscribe to this. This is a great blog. Okay? It gives you a lot of information. You're going to scroll down and you're going to see here there's this blue button, A-Step Example Workflow. If you click it, it's going to bring you over here to a screen that looks like this. Okay, that's not going to be very helpful for you. It's going to be confusing. So instead, we're just going to go over here and right click on this. Now you can't see it on my computer, but you'll have a menu that pops up and you'll click Save As. Okay, so click Save As. And then you will go ahead and see something like this. Okay, and then just go to wherever your ComfyUI is. What I do is I go to under my ComfyUI installation, essentially create a folder called Workflows, and then I'll create a thing called ACE. I do this for organizational sake. And then you go in here and then you can just save it there. So you see I've already got mine saved, but you would save yours. Okay? So then you have that saved. Just hit the back button, okay? And then now we'll scroll back to where we were. We'll grab this one. This one's a little bit different, so it's not going to take us to the Comfy blog, but if we click on it, you see it's going to bring us over to this repo. Here we get over here and we just click where it says download raw file. So we're going to click that. We're just going to left click that one. And same thing as before. We're going to go over to where we're saving our workflows. Okay, click there. And then we just go and click on the save button. Hey-oh. Okay, so that's how we're going to get started with this. We're going to get our workflows and then we'll build from there. Okay, so when you first load up ComfyUI, okay, before you do your workflow, you need to go to your manager up here and you need to update this, okay? Because it won't work if you don't have it. Now, if you're not having your Comfy manager in there, a couple things you can do. First thing, if you don't have it, just go to comfy.getgoingfast.pro. It'll bring you over to here, and I have a manual installation here. It's free. You can have it for free. I put it for the community. I grabbed this 12.6 version here. You need to make sure that you have Big CUDA 12.8 installed. And then just grab that version, you click it, download it. This will install your ComfyUI. It's got your Sage Attention, your Triton, all of that good stuff in there, and it will have the model manager in there. That's what I would do. But if you want to do it yourself, you want to just keep your installation you've got and do it yourself, just do a search for ComfyUI model manager. You're going to go here, click it, go up here, grab the address, and basically what we're going to do is get close into your ComfyUI nodes. Okay, so I'll show you here, I think, really quickly how to do that. Tap, 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 tap. We're just waiting on this file explorer to pop up. Okay, so this is how you do that. You just go to your ComfyUI, look for your custom nodes, and then just go up to the top here, and you can actually just type git clone, and then paste it in there. And then that's going to go ahead and download that into your custom nodes. Next time you load up ComfyUI, you'll have the model manager. Then you can go in here and make sure that you have updated your ComfyUI. Okay? And then we're going to be great with all this acestep stuff. Okay, and then here I'm just explaining that the workflows have now been integrated into ComfyUI. They've actually made acestep part of the app, which is cool. All right, and then I'm stretching for coffee hit me. Okay, you restart it or reboot, you go reload, click your open, find your workflow, pop it up, and it's going to show up like this. Okay, now remember that when it first loads up, it'll look like this, but I moved these nodes around so that they could all show on the screen at the same time. Nice thing about ComfyUI is you can move these nodes around however you want, whatever makes most sense to you. So up here, we're going to need this model here, okay? This is the model. And to get it all we got to do is go over here and look at it. It's got the instructions. So this is really nice. It's telling us we're going to save it to the checkpoints folder. All you got to do is click on this bad boy, okay? So you're going to come up to here, and then look at that. All you got to do is click on the download. It's going to pop up our save window like this. Let's see if we get that. There it is, okay. We'll just go back to our ComfyUI folder. This time we click into models, we click into checkpoints, and then we just click save. Okay, that's easy. And that's it. That's really all we need to be doing. Once you get that, you got the workflow, you got the model, you're actually set and ready to go. So, okay, so now we're going to go in here and we can type in whatever we want to put in here. It's all ready to go. So I think here I'm going to go ahead and look at, by using brackets, I'm going to actually make that a verse. And then I think we'll go make a chorus. Okay, same thing. Notice it's doing whatever. And this helps, you know, these apps, what they do is they look at that and they figure out the flow because they're trained on a bunch of different songs. So by having, okay, so I hit run, it's going to run up. And let's pop, we're going to pop the sound so you can hear this once it plays. Just, and then it's going to pop down over to here. And let's see.
Get going fast! Get going fast! Get going faster! Get going fast, fast!
So here, and notice the audio is going out. There's save audio. So
all right, so effectively it's going out as save to save audio, so you can actually click and save it. But you could actually take this and run it into another workflow. So say you had like one of these, you know, lip syncing softwares, you know, workflows. You could actually create the song, flow it directly into your lip syncing thing, and it would all be one giant thing. Create the song, does the avatar, lip syncs it. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to open up the other workflow, which is actually like the Gradio app. Okay, and it's going to look like this. So this one's a lot more confusing. It has a lot of stuff going on here. Okay. So it's got a whole bunch of different formats of outputs. We're going to talk about this later with these, but basically you can run 4 different things at once and save the one that you want or in which format you want. Okay, so this one has load audio. Notice the way this loads, it flows from load audio to here and then loads into here. Okay. So if I've got the model in here, all right, and I click run, notice I'm going to get an error. And the error is because it's not finding this thing. So because the way this is connected, it's going to be looking for an audio. It's going to be looking for a loaded audio. I'm going to show you here in a second how to do it text straight to audio, but effectively what you have to do is you have to go over here and you have to click an actual file to upload. Now I'm going to go find something here on my computer, and something will load up. Okay, let's see.
I should have known when the screen door slammed.
Okay, so this is actually one of my songs on Spotify that I made. I made this with Suno, so it's high quality. You can listen to this online through any streaming app. Okay, but let's go in here, and it's going to flow over to here. So now I've got these lyrics on here, and let's click run and see what happens. But notice I didn't put the actual lyrics in here. I just put some other ones. What you're going to find out here, little preview, is that it's not going to work very well, but it kind of keeps the same idea. So we're sitting here waiting for this to load, and look at she done already. So it's going to scroll down here. It's going to output over here.
Got 4 different ones here.
So let's see.
Audio to audio.
It's going so fast, take the Suno-level stack, get going faster last. Got me flying like
So it's just totally making nonsense noise, like words. It's funny.
That's 2 buttons. Okay. There's a crash down here.
Get your rig, get going faster.
Okay, so that's funny. So because it didn't have the words, it was trying to fit that in there. And so it would work better if you put the actual lyrics and then change the lyrics. But notice it kept all the timing and everything, which is great. But it kept the timing, it kept the beat, it had the breakdown. And you can see, like, again, the quality is not fantastic, but this is how it actually starts real. Oh, and here you can see I actually changed the lyrics.
Your boots on the porch, dust in the wind. Now that was my last chance.
Okay, so then I changed the lyrics to just nonsense. Should have known when your mom said hi.
Okay, so basically I changed the lyrics. Heard when your mom said hi and she kissed you on the face, and I heard her burp, and this is how it turned out.
I should have known when your mom said hi and she kissed on the face. And I heard her burp as your dog spoke up. That was my last chance. Sign flickered out.
Okay, so that's funny. So that actually works pretty good. When you actually use the real lyrics and then you change it, it comes out. Now, when they come out with version 2 of this, it's just going to be so cool. Remember, this is just version 1, okay? I would say within a year we'll have Suno quality stuff. And that was not bad because it actually changed the lyrics there. I wonder, maybe you could throw some speech in there, see if it changes the speak up. We'll see. But that was pretty funny. That was. But now let's say we don't want to do the audio to audio. So all we got to do text to audio, you got this little thingamajabber here. You grab this little purple, okay? We want to get rid of the audio over there, so we're just going to grab that, switch it over, and then boom, there she is. Okay, so now it's connected. This is now irrelevant. Okay, it's just there. It's just over there by its own self. Then now if we run this thing, you're going to find it doesn't worry about any of that. It's just going to kick straight into your clip and your lyrics, and it's going to be a completely different song. It's not going to be based on what the other one was.
And I heard her burp as your dog spoke up. That.
Okay, so whatever on that did not turn out that great, but you can see that it did its own thing. That's kind of funny, honestly.
was my last chance. Can she kiss on?
Okay, whatever.
Okay, so whatever on that. There's obviously makes better music than that. And that is how you work it. You've got all your samplers over here. You can change up your settings. All right, so now we're going to move on to the Gradio app. Okay, so really quickly, I come back here just to show you that these actually 4 sampler things, they all relate to a different audio thing over here. So you can actually set different settings for each one of these. So in one run, you could get 4 different versions. You know, that essentially find the one you like. Set them up differently to however you want it to be, and then run it. All right.
Okay, so for this, what we're going to do is go back to our window. Okay. Yeah. Just go back down and solve our other instructions here. We're not going to worry about any of this stuff. If you want just stuff. And we're going to get down here to installation. All we, okay, so as usual, we need to get over to so and let's get into a folder. I'm going to my key guide, so put my letter with a bold as a tip. Let's make a direct step. Step and change site. So now we can go ahead and start to install stuff. So go back over to our browser. See what the first thing it says to do is to get set. So get, of course, is our application. It pulls out our repositories, telling click get that want to clone something, and then you say, hey, what do we want to clone? Go. We want to clone this direct, and it's going to pull out all the files and going to create a folder called step. So we basically have a folder called acestep, put a folder called acestep inside. There's it's cloning into there. Now if I hit TIR directory, see become a folder. See step to go inside of it. If I type TIR, you're going to notice there's all the files, yo. So next thing we're going to need to do is to create a virtual button. So, yeah. Back to our browser here. If we scroll down, see this wants us to use a on the environment. We're going to actually use Python. Basically do the same thing. The difference here being that with the Conda, you can force Python 3.10. Even if you don't have it installed on your system. So that's nice. But I like working on Python virtual environments, and as long as you have Python 3.10 installed, you'll be fine. If you say, listen, let me directly in the eyes here. Or running Python 3.12 on your system, get rid of it. It's going to mess everything up. Good to have Python 3.10 system. Okay. Let's give us some directions here. You can do it this way if you want. We're going to do it a little bit different. Check CLS, just a cleared screen. Now, what we would do is we would type Python -m. So Python is our interpreter, and it's -m to say I'd like you to use one of your routines as an actual application. So we're doing is we're saying Python and run this program called fail. And then we're giving it this thing saying create a virtual environment called fit, but we can name it like where typically fails. Definitely. All right, so effectively what we're going to do is we're going to pop back over to our browser here to where we were looking at this repo, and we're just going to scroll down through all this, everything we've looked through, all the text, all the demos, all the Gradio, ComfyUI, workflow stuff, and we're just going to get down here to the bottom where it says installation. Okay, and so this is what we're going to do. We're just going to walk through this really quickly. we're going to get clone. So we're going to get all the files. Okay. We're going to go into that directory, and then we have to create the virtual environment. Now, notice this one is going to give you this option to use Conda. Okay. We're going to use Python, but, notice it needs 3.10. Conda is nice because if you don't actually have 3.10 installed on your computer, then Conda will pull it down into your virtual environment anyways. But here, look me in the eyes as I look at the camera. Guys, if you don't have 3.10 on your system, you're messing up. If you're running 3.12 or something like that, okay, you need to get 3.10 on your system. All right, that being said, you could use Conda and pull it down. Now, we're going to go over here and use this Python version. So actually, you need to make sure that 3.10 is in your system, but I'm going to show you a little trick, which is cool. A little pro tip here, pro tip, at the end of this, which you'll like. And then we're going to get into installing our dependencies, and we're going to install the directory. What we do is we got to open up our command prompt like this. So we'll click on over to the over here. And now I'm going to type D and then a colon. That's going to take me to my D drive. This is where I want to do this. Okay. Now I'm going to create a directory. Usually got something, maybe we'll go to here. Usually have something like AI tools is a good idea. So you make maybe mkdir, that means make directory. And I'll go AI tools. Okay. And then I can go in here and type AI tools. That way I can install several softwares in this folder, and it just helps with organization. So now once in here, what I can do is I can either create a folder called acestep, or I can just git clone in here and it'll create one. So let's just go ahead and go back to our browser. Okay, where did our browser go? There it is. Okay, and I'm just go up here and grab the address, and we just go up there, hit Control C or Control X. Then we can go back over to our command line, and I'm just going to type git clone. So git is the name of the app that pulls down the files from our repository. And then I'm going to type clone, because clone is what I actually want it to do. I'm getting confused here. All right, so clone is what I actually want to do, and then I'm going to hit Control V, and then it's going to get cloned from this address, and it's going to create a folder called acestep. So we'll just hit enter. Notice it cloning it into there. Now, if I type dir, which means directory, you're going to see it created a acestep directory. Very cool. So I'm going to go CD for change directory. Okay. And that's going to put us in there. So CD acestep. Okay. Now you can notice we're in there. If I type dir for directory again, it's going to show us all the files, but we need to create a virtual environment. So if we go to our browser again, you're going to see it's giving us how to create it. Just can hit Control C, go back to our command terminal and paste it in there. And Python is our interpreter, and it has a subroutine in it called vim. But by using this -m, what we're doing is we're saying use vim as if it's its own app. And what vim does is when passed a name, it creates a virtual environment by that name. So if I call this my env, the best env, or whatever I want, it would create a virtual environment in that. But I have to use whatever I called it by every time. So kind of the standard is just called vim. But now I'm going to show you something here. A little pro trip. When we use Python, you have to make sure that your Python 3.10 is working. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use another thing because it says py-3.10. Then we're going to go -m and do our vim. Now, what this does is even if 3.10 is not your main Python, as long as it's on your system, it's going to use it. So I know a lot of times you guys, what happens with all of us is you get mini conda, and mini conda overrides our 3.10 with 3.12. So when we do it this way, even if 3.12 is showing up as our main thing, it's still going to use 3.10. So this is a cool little, it's a bit more robust. Okay. So it's going to go ahead and create that. Just wait for it to do it. Do. And there it's done. Now, if we type dir, you're going to see that it created a folder called vim. So now what we do is we type, we're going to activate it. So we go call vim / we're saying we want to go inside we're going to execute a program. It's found inside this folder. We're going to do a /. You can tell it's a / because it's the top of it's leaning to the left. Then inside of here is another folder called scripts. And there, that's going to lead us to our actual program called activate. And then you see that we are now in the Vim environment. Okay. So no matter what we do, there we are. Now we can go ahead and install stuff. And it will get installed into our virtual environment. So going back to our browser, notice time for us to install dependencies. And this is really nice. What it's done here is it's already given us everything we need for our torch, our CUDA 12.6. Normally, we would have to go to the website to get it, but here they've given it to us. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to go back to the command terminal, but I'm going to make a little change here. I'm going to teach you guys something. We're going to use something called UV, which is it's the replacement for pip. It just it hasn't been completely standardized yet, but it works so much better. So we're going to type pip install UV. Okay. And notice what it's going to do. It's going to run through here. It's going to install it. Now, what we're going to do is we'll type UV, then we'll paste in our torch command with pip, but I'm going to go here, get rid of this 3. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're saying UV pip install all of this stuff. Now, effectively, what UV does is it makes a plan. It actually looks at what you're installing. It says, what's the best way I can install it? When we use pip, what pip does is pip goes, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. And if any time in that chain it breaks, it's going to ruin the whole thing. So you get dependency issues. But when you use UV, it actually looks at the whole thing and it says, how can I make sure this works? Okay. So it effectively makes a plan. It plans out the installation. So we're going to hit enter. It's going to go ahead and install these things, and it works faster. So think of it like this. Like if you're going on a trip and you say, well, the closest thing is point A, then point B, point C. So let's just go point A, B, C. That would be using pip. But what you find out is that, if we go to A first, by the time we get to B, B is already closed. So that'll mess us up going from A to B. So instead, let's change up. Let's go to B first, then we can go to A, and then we'll just go to C. That's effectively what UV does. Okay. I've literally had problems times where I've used pip install something and I'm getting errors, and then I use the UV and it fixes it. Okay. So it's incredible. Okay. So going back to our browser, we've installed it. Next, we're going to install the folder. Okay. So you're going to see it's going to say pip install, and this -u is going to say install from a folder, and that folder is going to be in this directory. Now, if we scroll up here, you're going to notice there's a setup.py. This is what it's going to use. So when we go down there and we pip install -e period, we're saying install that setup file. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to command terminal, but what we're going to do is we're going to type UV, then we're going to type our pip install -e period. So period means this folder. If there was 2 periods, it would mean the previous folder. So we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, whoops. I want to type UV pip install -. Okay, there we go. And then it's going to take a second to think about it, figure it out, and then it's going to build it really easily. We just wait for that. And look at that. So then it gets all done. Now notice with UV, you've got all these pluses. This is really cool. Like if it's telling you it added it. If it had accelerate, had an older version it needed to replace, you would see accelerate with a minus, and then you see accelerate with a plus, showing that it added it. So there you go. It's actually installed now. Okay. So now we can go back to our browser, say usage, and notice it says all we got to do is type in acestep port 7865. So then as long as you're in the correct directory, you're in the virtual environment, you paste this in, and it's going to say, basically it's saying run this thing. And then you can put whatever port you want on there. But essentially what it's going to do is you're going to click that, and it's going to start loading. Now it'll take a little while the first time she goes because it has to download the model. So it will sit here for a bit. before it loads. And then it loads up, and there you have your screen there. Okay. So like I said, you could take your acestep, you could put a different port and put it on a different place if you want. And then you are actually ready to go. As simple as that. Okay. So we covered the ComfyUI nodes. We covered the Gradio app, how to run that. Again, just a reminder that if you just want to get going fast, all you got to do is go to acestep.getgoingfast.pro. Okay. Easy peasy. And then over here, you can just click it. As long as you got the mini condas and all that stuff on there, this will right for it. Same thing with the Comfy nodes. Okay, so you guys enjoy. Thanks for putting up with this video. I obviously had massive audio problems with it, so thanks for doing that. Hanging in there. You guys are great. Enjoy acestep. It is really cool for what it is. Okay, it's limited. You get a lot of the same type of sounding stuff. There's kind of a hollow sound. It is not professional quality, but guys, this is where we're at with on your own computer type stuff. In a year, we are having Suno-level stuff. It's that good. It's so incredible. We are literally at the point where all the stuff is being built. Okay. And then, yeah, it's just mind-boggling where we're headed. Okay. So anyways, enjoy this. If you did like the video, thank you for sharing it, subscribing to the channel. You can always hit the super thanks button. And like I said, that helps keep me going since I do this full time. If you have any questions, come over to the Discord and share it. Find us on the Reddits and share whatever you want. We'll treat you nice over there. Okay. Hit us up on Instagram, X, all that good stuff. In the meanwhile, be good to each other. Call your mama. It's the weekend. She's thinking about you. She misses you. Give her a call. Tell her you love her. Tell her that I said hello. And I don't mean that in no weird way. I just say, hey, I've been doing AI. There's this guy, and he told me that I should give you a call. All right. And meanwhile, you guys be good to each other, and we will catch you on the other side, yo.